Hey, here we go. Check this out.
This is Whole Nother Level with Dwayne Lindo.
You know, frankly, I feel that we shouldn't even be talking about this. Simple as that.
The great L. Bushman.
They'd have to make so many adjustments, but I don't know what they have to do. They need a miracle.
Our girl, Kristen Yalwin.
Yeah, it's going to be another show. Britney Spears has her show in Vegas. The Raiders are going to have their show in Vegas.
Frank Mazzei.
Did they win the offseason in free agency? Yes. What does that mean? Absolutely nothing.
Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Craig Cousin.
How can you not put Tom Brady number one on the Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks? Man, this guy's a legend. Rings speak.
And Eric Wilson.
I didn't know Eric was going to let you talk.
Don't hate the player, hate the game. I've seen enough Facebook posts to know that you're not a Giants fan. Let's go.
Welcome, everybody. It is.
Oh, no. I'm starting this today. Welcome, everybody. My mic ain't even working. Whole Nother Level in the building. We back at Co-Work, Florida. This your man, Eric, with the Factual Frank Mazzei. Thank you, Frank, for being here today. We really appreciate you here. The great L. Bushman running the board, and he been gone for a long time, but he want to start the show off like this. So I'm going to say first and preface this with congratulations.
Yes, congratulations.
To Craig Cousin.
Do we get discounts on a?
Yeah, yes. Of course. It's our friends and family.
He had his last day. Was it clinic?
Clinic last day, and actually completely last day of chiropractic school. So I graduate a week. Next week I'll be up in Chicago.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Nice. Thank you.
I ain't gonna miss you. But anyhow,
congratulations.
This is Whole Nother Level, man. 813-699-5353. So we're starting off the show a little different today because I came in today in celebration of two reasons. Number one, and I know I'm a couple weeks late, but my man Patrick Ewing, who I love and I have followed since Georgetown, is now back at Georgetown as the head coach, replacing John Thompson III.
Third, yeah.
Thank you. So I feel it was a great move. Finally, he gets a shot to prove his worth as a head coach. So in honor of that and in honor of the NBA playoffs starting, I came in today wearing an old school Patrick Ewing New York Knicks jersey.
A little tight on you.
It is not tight on me.
Well, the undershirt's even tighter than the actual jersey.
Undershirt's supposed to be tight. But anyhow.
You should have just worn the jersey.
Does Adidas
shorts.
Does Adidas even sponsor the jerseys anymore? Or is that Nike?
Two out of the three people who coincidentally, one's wearing orange, the other one's wearing blue to compliment my jersey.
Wait, hold on a second. I'm wearing blue for the Rays.
Well,
I have a Rays hat on.
You know what, Victorious? Just sit there for a minute.
Yeah, because we were victorious last night against the Red Sox.
And you still complaining about it, though. You were sitting here complaining about it. We were on my man. We were on my man Mike's show, The Sports Hangover in Arizona, and I was trying to be positive and nice and say, you know what, great win for the Rays. It seems like when they play divisional opponents, they seem to take it to, as our show is aptly called, a whole nother level. He wanted to get on the phone and be like, you know what, a sloppy win, man. I don't know how I feel about all this, and I'm just really, when you start doing this, and what's Kevin Cash thinking, bringing in Pruitt? I'm like, hold up, you just won 10-5. Can you accept the victory?
It should have been 10-1.
Anyhow, getting back to my original point, they want to criticize me. Not Frank. Craig, Great L. Bushman, Evan, they want to criticize me for my wardrobe. And I'm like, really? Because I'm trying to be in support of it's basketball. It's the playoffs. Let's go. And you two want to be over here talking noise about my fashion. You know what? Keep y'all metrosexual fashionista selves out of my wardrobe. That's all I got to say about that.
Is anyone here look metrosexual today?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Anyhow.
Nobody has frosted tips here.
Take that hat off. Let's see what you got.
Is that another word for gay?
How are the Knicks going to do in the playoffs this year?
I ain't worried about the Knicks, man. This is in support of Ewing and the playoffs. That's what it's about.
I'm in support of Ewing, but not the Knicks.
The Knicks are in such disarray. Porzingis had to skip the exit meetings.
Good for him.
Yeah,
it's the best player that they got going right now, and they can't even keep him happy.
It's a train wreck, but it's like,
you have to watch it.
Exactly. I mean, look, Phil's just stealing money. I mean, let's be honest.
No. Melo stealing money.
No, Phil is too.
Spike Lee's about to switch teams. You know it's bad.
Where's he gonna go? Because Brooklyn ain't worth a damn.
I was gonna say this is Brooklyn's best shot to surpass them, and they can't even do it because they're garbage too.
Well, they're still paying Boston for Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett from 5 years ago.
And they're gonna lose their number one pick. Probably.
Right. How is Boston? Boston, y'all just come up smelling like roses with this deal. I'm looking at this like
first in the East and still 1 or 2 players away. But
right.
I'm hopeful if the ball bounces our way, we'll get the number 1 pick. Hopefully.
All right. So speaking of the playoff matchups that we have, okay, I want to ask you guys a question. Out of all the matchups we have, who do you think would be the first upset going into the first week? Who would be the first team to be upset?
I think Utah can beat the Clippers.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
I could actually see that.
Okay.
I could definitely see that.
I mean, I love the matchup as it stands right now between OKC and Houston in the first round.
I can see that one happening too.
You know what? I'm going to go with OKC just because I have been on record as saying I feel there should not be a co-MVP. Russell Westbrook should be the MVP of the league. He should be. Now, I don't know because I heard before, did they move when they're going to do the voting to the end of the season, or are they actually going to do it as the playoffs are going?
I'm gonna make Craig mad. I'm gonna say the Bulls might be upset the Celtics.
You're actually not making me mad. You know who I was going to pick?
I
was actually going to pick the Bulls, which is really
good.
weird for a Celtics fan. I'm just going to come out and say this because I'm a non-biased. Well, I'd like to think I'm non-biased. You guys probably think I'm biased.
You are
it's
biased.
just because the Patriots are so damn good. But
this is not football season.
I'm just saying. This Celtics team is probably the worst number 1 seed in NBA history. I mean, you think about it. Isaiah Thomas is good, but you really don't. I mean, it's just a collection of really good guys, but nobody's like great. Isaiah Thomas has had a great season, and I think Brad Stevens is a top 5 coach right now in the NBA, and that's why they're where they're at. But let's be honest, nobody thinks they're going to win it all. They think Cleveland's going to make it. I even think Cleveland's going to be there. So like for me to say Boston's going to be Cleveland, I would be lying to myself. I think Cleveland's going to be there regardless of them getting a 2nd seed. And the funny thing is I think the Chicago Bulls. I wouldn't be surprised if they did make it, but I also wouldn't be surprised if they lost to the Bulls this round because Dwayne Wade can turn it on. Jimmy Butler's there. Yep. Rondo's been playing well lately.
Yep. And Rondo's facing his former team, too. I mean, what better way to face
you
your former team
don't
in the
need to be great in the Eastern Conference. We have said that time and time again. So the fact that Boston controls their own destiny right now with being the number 1 seed, I'm saying I don't see an upset. Listen, the guys that you mentioned, Dwayne Wade, Jimmy Butler, Rondo, all of these guys either A, have been to the postseason or have a ring on their finger. I truly respect that. But this Boston team is playing with a hunger that I don't think we've seen since the days of Garnett, Pierce, and Allen.
They play collectively. So
exactly.
That's what I do like
so
about
that's what I'm
yeah.
saying about you. Granted, these are not household names as of yet, but I don't see Boston losing in the first round to Chicago. I think it'll be a 6-7 game series.
You didn't say what would be the upset. You said would you be shocked? I mean, I wouldn't be shocked.
I would.
I mean, I'm still going with Boston.
I would,
but I wouldn't be shocked.
I would be shocked.
Chicago, just as you said that Boston may be the worst 1 seed, Chicago is an 8 seed. Is
with
they're
superstars? Yeah,
I mean, they're scary. I mean, because if all those guys come out and play, even though Rondo's a head case, he can play. And then you had Dwayne Wade and Jimmy Butler. I mean, that's 3 legitimate guys right there.
I think what's going to kill them probably is probably their bench because their bench isn't strong.
Yep.
They got rid of McDermott and some others, but for them to be in, they're in. I actually think another series is pretty funny as well because Paul George is like, I want to play LeBron, and they're kind of having a back and forth, and I'll be curious to see if the Pacers can, and they re-sign Lance Stevenson, so hopefully he blows in LeBron's ear a little bit.
Oh my God! Why do you want to add that fuel to the fire?
Because it's funny.
LeBron says he has the secret sauce, but won't tell anybody for the playoffs.
I mean, listen,
a barbecue recipe.
I don't know what it is.
Can you find it at PDQ?
I don't know.
Okay.
It could be the script for NBA Jam 2. I don't know what it is.
You could have said Culver's.
Yeah, I went PDQ.
PDQ.
I like their
really?
sauces. Yeah.
I almost died.
Most people have. Did you really? Would you choke on a chicken?
Yes, I actually did. I did. I choked on a chicken sandwich.
You didn't get the drink. You went cheap. You didn't buy the drink with it.
No, I had the drink. I had the drink. I took one bite and I almost choked. I will never go to PDQ ever again.
Okay. All right.
Ever
Chick-fil-A
again.
it is.
Chick-fil-A is delicious.
And they're closed on Sunday, so you have to.
That's
probably why you went to PDQ.
It actually was on a Sunday.
Listen,
I had no other option.
I would love for that Milwaukee game, the Milwaukee series against Toronto. I would love Milwaukee to just shut down Toronto. I don't see it happening. I know. But me personally, just because Toronto has talked so much this whole entire season, and I'm just like, shut up.
Toronto's added Serge. They've added P.J. Tucker to that group already. And
I think
Toronto's going to give a lot of people trouble.
They just got Lowry back.
Yeah.
He'll get his legs back under him with DeRozan. They have a good shot to go pretty decently far, and I also like Washington's
if they end
chances
up
as well.
playing Cleveland, they're going to give Cleveland a run for their money.
They did last year. They did last year. So that to me won't be a surprise. I expect that series, should it happen, I expect that series to go 6-7 games.
I'll tell you what, though, I would love more than anything if, Cleveland basically just rested their players the last 2 games and gave Boston number 1 seed. They did. They could have played one. All they need to do is win one more game, and they would have gotten it.
Right.
So I would love more than anything for it to be Eastern Conference Finals, Boston and Cleveland chokes in Boston in the last game because they got cocky and gave that away.
But here's the thing. LeBron doesn't play well in Boston. Granted, the last game that most recently happened.
He posterized everybody.
Right.
So he doesn't play well in Boston?
Well, no. What I'm saying is the last game he did. But what I'm saying is over history, if you look at what is his record in TD Garden, he doesn't do well there, especially come playoff time.
Well, I mean, he was playing against Pierce, Garnett, and Allen back in the day. But
I think
that last game where they played Boston, he showed them, I don't need number 1.
Well, nobody can guard him.
I don't need number 1 to still beat you.
The second round of the playoffs in the East is when it's going to get interesting.
Yep.
I mean, basically, get through this first round, then you're going to start seeing, because Toronto, Washington, Boston. I mean, there's going to be some good matchups.
That'll be good if it's. So what would it be? It would be if all the top 4 advance, which I fully expect them to. So it would be advance, Cleveland, Toronto, and Washington, Boston. Yeah, those are going to be. Those might both go 6 or 7 games.
Oh, I fully expect Cleveland, Toronto to go at least 6.
I think 6 in that one and 7.
Boston, Washington, I expect to go 7.
Yeah,
okay, going on the Western Conference side, we've got Golden State going against Portland. So do we even have to talk about this?
Lillard's really good, but they have no shot. They might steal a game.
This one's I like this matchup with San Antonio against Memphis.
Memphis, they play San Antonio hard. They really do. They take them at least 5 to 6 games.
I'm sorry, I got no respect for Memphis. I don't have any respect for the Clippers. It's the same teams every single year. They don't get better. They get to the playoffs. They might win the first round series, and then they're out by the second one. In this case, they're playing San Antonio. I give them 0 shot. Yeah. San Antonio. No, they'll steal a game, maybe 2. It'll be 5 or 6 games.
Okay.
I think the number 1 matchup everybody wants to see is Houston against OKC.
Oh my God,
that's the number 1 matchup.
I love that matchup. I think Houston's going to win, but I would love Westbrook to show that he can win a series. Basically by himself.
And I disagree. I say OKC's going to win this series. I say OKC's going to win it in 6.
I'm rooting for
them. They're going
to
win it on their home turf. I think they're going to take game 2. Houston's going to come out game 1 and truly dominate. But I think game 2, OKC's going to come out and really shock a lot of people. Then they go back for 3-4, and I think they're going to win both of those. I think Houston will win game 5 because it's a do or die, and then Westbrook will close it out game 6 in OKC.
What are your thoughts on just the whole playoff structure? And I feel like 7-game series, especially in basketball. I mean, there's never really room for an upset, which is annoying. You know what I'm saying?
For the first round, I don't think they should go 7.
It used to be 5.
It used to be 5.
They should go back to 5.
I don't know why they changed that to make more money.
Yes,
of course.
Yes,
but I mean,
that's exactly.
But
why.
the series aren't competitive usually.
In the first round, no. First round, I agree. It should be 5, 7, 7, 7.
And I also think is it 2-2 or is it 2-3-2 or is it 2-2-1-1-1?
Didn't they go back to 2-2-1-1-1?
For the championship, it's 2-3.
Yeah,
it's that funny structure. But during the regular playoffs, it's the normal.
I'll tell you what I would like to see.
2-2-1.
I would like to see the home team get 3 in a row at home, and I think that would actually put more incentive on an 82-game regular season to have to finish strong. Because if you're a playoff team and you play your first 3 at home, as opposed to 2-2, 1-1-1, or 2-3-2, that makes it completely different. So that means, hypothetically, if Cleveland went to Boston, they'd have to go to Boston 3 straight games. There's 0 chance they would have rested LeBron and Kyrie or Kevin Love those last 2 games. You know what I'm saying? So I just think it would be more competitive in the longevity of the season.
But most series end, and we've seen this, most series throughout the playoffs don't go to that game 7. It's only when you get to the conference finals and then the NBA finals that you actually see a lot of these series go a full 7 games. Mm-hmm. Listen, Jordan, for all of his being the GOAT, Jordan never played a game 7. Okay? In the NBA finals, Michael Jordan never played a game 7. He always closed it out in 6.
I'd have to look at the stats.
I had to look that stat up. Yeah,
he never went to a game 7.
No, okay. So that Utah was 6, right? Okay, yeah. I just remember that crossover. I was thinking there was another series that went pretty long too.
Jordan in the NBA Finals.
You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking of Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, Eastern Conference. Yes, but NBA Finals, Jordan never went to a game 7.
Yeah. Isn't that funny how the East and the West have swung? It used to be the East was
the East was dominant. You had Jordan, you had Ewing, you had You had the guys in Boston. You had those teams that
Miami
you just
Heat teams,
Miami,
Reggie Miller,
right?
and Indiana Pacers. I
yeah.
mean, yeah, it was definitely.
And then after those guys, after that generation kind of retired and went off into the sunset, now this new look team has come up, and Duncan was still there. So Duncan kind of rose up the West, and everybody wanted to, the team to beat, and still is with the number 2 seed. San Antonio is still the team.
So funny,
to beat.
nobody talks about them, and they're in the top 2-3 best teams in basketball, but they just do it like quietly and like it's not sexy. They don't go out there and put up 120 points and talk a lot of crap. They go play basketball, they go home,
and that's and as Frank will always say, that's exactly the way Pop likes it. Don't worry about us. We gonna be. Don't even look this way. Keep your thoughts in OKC and Golden State and Houston. Go to the Clippers and what's going on, and are they imploding? Who's the new look Lakers going to be? Don't worry about us. We fine. We got ours. I
like Frank's upset, though. I could definitely see Utah and the Clippers. I could see Utah winning that series, too.
What happens if Utah wins? I mean, I think Craig, we haven't had a chance to talk to you about this. We all feel that if Utah wins in the first round,
Doc's gone.
Doc's coming to Orlando to be the new head coach because Orlando, they need help.
And they just fired their GM.
Best decision they've made in years doing that. I don't know. I mean, I could see it. Doc hasn't really gotten that team over the hump or where they want to, be it either injury to Chris Paul or just the inability to get I feel like that team has a lot of superstars, but they just never live up to potential.
Craig, we talked about it too. I mean, do you think they'll have a full restructure of the whole team because Blake Griffin's going to be a free agent, Chris Paul's going to be a free agent?
I thought Blake Griffin was going to get traded at the trade deadline. If they don't make a solid run, I think Griffin will be gone. Chris Paul has been saying that he wants to team up to. I wouldn't be surprised if LeBron, Carmelo, or whoever end up teaming up together or something like that, or even Chris Paul, because they've always talked about it.
Melo need to retire. I used to be such an advocate for this.
They're talking about Melo going to the Heat, possibly. I've been hearing rumors.
I used to be such an advocate for him because I was like, listen, I like this guy. Are
you faltering him for this season, though?
I'm faltering for his damn entire career.
All right, let's hold that thought. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. Phil Jackson had something to say about Carmelo. All right. Trouble in Paradise once again. This is Whole Nother Level. We'll be right back in just a minute.
And welcome back to Whole Nother Level right here at Cowork, Florida. This is your man, Eric Wilson, joined by Craig Cousin, Frank Mazzei, Great L. Bushman. So before we went to break, I was talking about my disgust with Melo, and apparently I'm not the only one who feels that way. Phil Jackson apparently had some comments in regards to Carmelo Anthony.
You don't say.
So, Great L. Bushman.
Cue it up.
All right.
We've not been able to win with him on the court at this time, and I think the direction with our team is that he is a player that would be better off somewhere else and using his talent somewhere where he can win or chase that championship. Right now we need players that are really active, can play every single play, defensively and offensively. That's really important for us. We started to get some players on the floor that can do that, and that's the direction we have to go.
It just seems from day one, as soon as he got that job, he's wanted Melo out.
And I mean, clearly the production or lack thereof that Melo's been putting on the court. I mean, listen, Phil is used to coming and playing with guys.
Phil needs to get rid of the damn triangle offense. It's
okay.
Gone. It's dead.
No, I agree with you on that. But what I'm saying is, Phil has walked in and played with guys who have gone on to become greats. Okay, he had Jordan as a coach. Jordan was his guy.
Okay.
Then he goes to L.A. He gets Kobe and Shaq.
Exactly. He got.
All right.
He just went there and he inherited two great players.
Right. So when he left and decided he wanted to be president of basketball or whatever his title is.
Yeah, because Jeannie didn't want him there in L.A. anymore. That's why.
I'm curious about that. Why didn't his girlfriend, fiance, baby mama, wife, whatever, why did she not want him?
Because Jim Buss was still in charge of basketball operations, and Jim and Phil do not get along.
Remember, they tried to do a coup against her by ousting her out of position, too.
All right.
And then James Dolan offered Phil $15 billion a year to come
and screw everything up for New York.
Look, it's no coincidence that Phil said, we need players defensively first and offensively, because everybody knows Carmelo don't care about no defense.
He don't care no defense.
And look,
he slows the ball down on offense. He really does. I mean, I know Phil said that, but it's true. He does.
I mean, as good a coach as Phil is, okay, I'm not questioning his coaching abilities because he's won,
11.
Although, granted, he's never gone and rebuilt the team. But as an executive, he stinks. He does not know how to build a team. Just because you're a good coach does not mean he's screwed it all up. Look, I don't blame him. I mean, he's sitting there collecting. What's he getting? Like 12 million? I think 12, 13 million a year or something ridiculous, and hasn't done basically anything. I mean, look, he has to force Carmelo out because Carmelo has a no trade clause, and Carmelo ain't going nowhere. Carmelo's just sitting his butt there because his wife likes it in New York. And
but Lala been out in L.A. Lala been all over. So
no, Melo's gone.
He's
gone. He's going somewhere.
He doesn't care about – if he cared about winning, he wouldn't have re-upped with the Knicks a few years ago because he had chances to go other places, and the Knicks weren't going to win anything. He wanted the max money, which is what Carmelo's always been about. I mean, look at his playoff record. I think he's got, one conference finals in 15 years?
Something like a pimp. Yeah, no, listen. I am disgusted with him. Like I said, when he first was there in Denver, I was very happy with him. I liked him. I was like, okay, the matchup that everybody wanted to see. And Frank, when you and I started doing this show, aptly named Something Else 7-8 years ago, we talked about this. We said the NBA gods want to see LeBron versus Carmelo in the NBA Finals. That would just make for great television, great media, great exposure. Has never, ever happened.
And it's not going to happen.
And
He'd have to join forces, which he might. That's it.
The Knicks have paid him. His contract is $60 million.
Who?
Phil Jackson.
Phil getting $60 million for how many years?
Looking that up right now, but 60.
Phil getting $60 million.
$60 million.
And they ain't been to the playoffs once since he been there.
$60 million.
Okay, I don't care how you got to listen.
He's considered. He's being paid $60 million through another 2 years.
Which they've already agreed for that 2 years.
Exactly.
So
$30 million a year. That's pretty good.
Listen, I don't care. You got 11 rings or not. $60 million, and you ain't putting no.
Charles Oakley can't even get a seat in the
right.
place.
And the Knicks ain't been to the postseason since he been there.
So the deal is 5 years, $60 million.
So you were right, Frank. $12 million.
Yeah, $12 million.
No, Phil, you need to get some of my money back, bro.
I want Phil's agent.
I do too.
Jesus,
we need to find out.
He must speak Russian.
We need to find out who Phil's agent is. Phil's agent, we need to get him on the phone and say, listen, we got a sports podcast here in Sarasota, Florida. We need you to hook us up. We need $60 million. I take 12.
I mean, look, James Dolan is probably the worst owner in all of sports. I mean, you could make the case.
Even worse than Dan Snyder.
Huh?
Even worse than Dan Snyder.
Oh, yeah, it's not even close. At least Dan Snyder's done a little bit and won some games. I mean, I'm granted the Knicks have won stuff, but if you look at James Dolan, the way people describe him is he's a spoiled brat billionaire who likes to play music and basically just doesn't really care.
What is Dan Snyder? He the same thing.
At least Dan Snyder shows up, wears a suit. I mean, at least as a
I've seen Dolan in a suit. He ain't got no tie on, but he got a button down and a jacket.
Why isn't the Browns owner in this conversation?
Dan made his
because we already know what the Browns are. So let's not.
The current Browns.
They're brown.
The current Browns owner's only been there like 2 years, so I mean,
he's still the door.
I'm just saying, but Dan Snyder at least made his money. James Dolan just, here, son, you a billionaire now.
Oh, so all right. So who's worse, him or Jed York? Let me ask you that question.
Jed York.
Thank you.
Okay. The Knicks have at least won some over the years. I mean, probably more in spite of James Dolan than because that's the thing, though. It's like he can pay Phil that money because, look, $60 million to him is probably like 50 cents to me. It's a drop in the bucket. He doesn't care about that. He's still making money because people are still going to come and watch the Knicks.
I think the worst thing that they did is give Phil that extension. I think that they should have just been like, listen, whatever was going on here, it didn't work.
Yep.
And move on from Carmelo at the same time. Cut complete ties. You start fresh with Kristaps. You bring him in. You're like, listen, it wasn't going the direction we wanted to go. You're the face of the franchise now. We're going to build around you. We're going to get someone in here that knows what they're doing, and we're going to start from here. And I think everybody, including the fan base, would be respectful of that. And I think that, them just extending Phil and then the whole saga that's going on now and then Kristaps not showing up for the exit interviews and things like that. I mean, it's snowballing to really, really bad situation right now. I don't know what's going on there in the next couple of years.
Speaking of really bad situations in New York, it was reported this week that Eli Manning is involved in a scam.
That's Craig's best friend.
Yes, Eli Manning let
me get them rings back.
Is allegedly being involved in a scam for
scammer. Scam those rings
counterfeit memorabilia for helmets, jerseys,
Yeah, see, it's a helmet. It was David Tyree's helmet. It had some sticky stuff on it.
It was
back
reported
in
that
2007.
I knew you were going to go there with that.
It was
too.
reported that Eli Manning said, just take a couple, make them look like they've been worn. I want your guys' thoughts on Eli Manning being involved in this scam.
Well, I mean, who knows if it's true or not? But if it is true, that is just a shame because he makes millions and millions of dollars. And you're going to try to scam the fans out of a couple $100 here and there, maybe $1,000. That's just shameful.
That mouth-breathing idiot.
Man, until I know all the facts.
But I'm saying, if it is, hypothetically. His face looks like he would do that.
Yeah.
His face doesn't change. Eli got the same facial features, whether he happy, whether he sad, whether he angry, whether he jubilant, I don't know. But I want to know all the facts first before I, in the court of public opinion, yeah, he guilty. But,
yeah, I can't imagine that, like Craig said. I mean, come on, dude. I mean, what were you trying to make? You're a millionaire many times over, and you're trying to make a couple $100. I mean,
it's like, yeah, let's get those fans.
Yeah. I mean, what do you mean? Well,
they made fun of me when I threw that pick six.
No. I'm
sorry. That's just weird.
It is weird. And for me, I'm looking at it like, okay, really, Eli? You got so much going on. Why?
But I'd love them to investigate that as much as they did a certain other thing that happened. Just saying.
And you know what, Craig? In defense of you, they should. You are absolutely 100% correct. They should go through the same process.
Where's Ted Wells at? Where's Ted Wells?
They went through the same. They should go through the same process that they went through in finding out whether or not the Super Bowl champion Tom Brady was, if he had any part in Deflategate. You're right.
But
the
NFL
NFL should investigate it.
Because just like the Peyton Manning thing, when he got all the HGH and stuff sent to his house, it actually got sent to his house, and then all of a sudden, like, you never heard anything else about it. Like, oh yeah, it was for his wife. Okay, well, that's interesting. But yeah, they don't want to tarnish the legacy any more than it already is, I guess. But it's weird how some people get passes just saying.
If your last name is Manning, then
But hey, last season was all worth it.
All right, guys, we're going to take another quick break. When we come back, we got more football news to go into, and then, of course, we got some Major League Baseball to talk as well. When we come back, this is Whole Nother Level. You can listen to us live here on Raw Talk Online, also Spreaker.com. 813-699-5353. The phone lines are open. We'll be back in just a minute. And welcome back. It is Whole Nother Level here live at Cowork Lake Ranch Studios. Keep that rolling with it. I like it. Of course, you can listen to us live every Tuesdays and Saturdays here at Cowork Lake Ranch. And, of course, if we're our live remotes at Ferg Sports Bar and Grill up in St. Petersburg for the Rays.
We will be up there next Saturday.
Yes, the 22nd against their series with the Houston Astros.
Should be an interesting series.
So, gentlemen, we do have the NFL draft a couple of weeks away.
Philly!
If Cleveland messes this up and does not draft Myles Garrett 1 overall, and they take that,
he's going to make them.
Mitch Trubisky, I got a lot to say on that.
Well, Hugh Jackson wants a quarterback. He's fighting with ownership.
If they take, I'm going to come out and say it right now because this is how I strongly feel about the quarterbacks.
You heard it here first on a whole nother level.
Literally, Deshaun Watson is the only quarterback, in my personal opinion, that is first round, maybe even second round ready. And I think that he's the only quarterback coming out of this draft class that is going to be worth anything. I think all the rest of them are going to be career backups at best because I think this is a very, very weak quarterback class. And I'm on record to saying that Deshaun Watson will be the only quarterback that's good coming out. That's my personal opinion. And if Cleveland drafts Mitch Trubisky number 1 overall, then they deserve to be right where they're at again next year, and that's picking number 1 overall.
He'll be added to that long list of quarterbacks they have.
Listen, and I still think
he's getting fired up about this.
And I also still think that all the nonsense that Garoppolo is not available, I think it's nonsense. You don't draft Jacoby Brissett in the 3rd round to say that Garoppolo is not available. So if I'm Cleveland, I'm drafting Garrett at 1, and when number 12 rolls around, I'm like, listen. We'll give you a 12th pick. We'll give you a 12, a 2, and the rights to, they probably don't want Josh Gordon, but Josh Gordon or something. Along those lines, I would still keep trying to harp on it. And if that doesn't, come into effect, then you know what? I'm still not taking Mitch Trubisky.
We're gonna have to do a mock draft show pretty soon.
I'll tell you, there's going to be some teams reaching on these quarterbacks this year, though. Really, really reaching. And another team, if they take a quarterback, the New York Jets. Oh my God! How many are you going to take and just pray on?
Listen, if we're all available the night of the first round of the draft, you know what? We can either A, do a live show, or B,
Be kind of cool. A little live show, put a TV up. I mean, we can be
do a draft show probably at Old School.
We could.
It's short notice, but we might be able to pull that off.
We could show the Mel Kipers of the world how to do it properly.
We can.
The Todd McShays.
All right, let's take this offline, and we'll work on.
All right. So speaking of the NFL draft, a lot of moves will be made. There's a lot of free agents still left out there looking for teams.
Yeah,
of course,
you can trade compensatory picks this year too. First time ever, I think.
Of course, AP is one of the big ones that's still available right now. We probably will see him get signed around draft time.
He'll go to Green Bay.
So there's a list that they have on Bleacher Report that I pulled up about some available free agents. A lot of high-profile ones too. So we're going to go down the list to see where do you think they would go, if they're going to make an impact, or they maybe they should just
so best fit for some of these? Okay.
And if they should just kind of maybe stay retired or maybe go into retirement, whatnot. Okay. So the first one on the list we have Anquan Bolden, pretty big name.
I think he still has a lot left. He's a pretty big receiver that can definitely make some tough catches, especially over the middle, and he's a really, really good threat in the red zone.
He had a solid year with Detroit.
Yeah, he did. And if I was Detroit, I would look to re-sign him just because I think that he complemented that offense well. But if he goes somewhere else, some of these are.
So where do you see him going, Craig?
If I was him, I'd kind of want to go back to Baltimore. I think that'd be a good spot for him to land, especially with Steve Smith retiring. I think he could be pretty good there. But I want to say if somebody really put it down to me, he probably wants to go to a contender because why would you want to play anywhere else in his current situation? Let's see. Playoff team needs a big-bodied wide receiver, red zone target to get him over the hump. I am going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay.
I think that he would go good there in Kansas City. I think that they're kind of lacking that type of receiver. They thought that was going to be that in Dwayne Bowe. And I think they got Tyreek Hill, a speedster, and some other really fast weapons on that offense. I think a big-bodied receiver that can make first down catches and a red zone target's what they need. So I go Kansas City.
Frank, how about you?
I would think my quarterback sleeper, Patrick Mahomes, the quarterback at Texas Tech.
All right. Do you think he's worthy of a first-round pick?
I think he's going to go in the first round. Everybody said
Do you think he's worthy?
Look, they said he's so raw that he would need some development. But if he got to somewhere like New Orleans, where Sean Payton could be, or even Andy Reid, somewhere, because his arm strength was just, it was ridiculous. Anquan Bolden, I'm going to stay right here in this area. I would want Anquan Bolden if I had two good wide receivers. I don't want him to be
interesting. They'd be good with the Bucs, wouldn't he?
Yeah, there was actually a little bit of a rumor that they were kind of interested in bringing him.
That'd be a solid pickup, especially with the speedster Deshaun Jackson and Mike Evans demanding, pretty much a double team on every given play. It would leave him single covered on every possession.
Frank, I like your stuff.
If he's your third option, I like him as a third option.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Eric, what do you think is going to go? And don't say the Eagles.
No, we're fine.
Okay. Where do you think Anquan Bolden would go?
I think Anquan Bolden, with his veteran leadership, and you're talking about going to a playoff team, I think he should go to Oakland in that third position. Because now you've got Crabtree and Cooper.
Yeah, okay.
But you've got a guy in the slot who's big and who can make the plays for you, and you need that.
I'll tell you another place I think that would be a good fit for him would be Dallas, because I think Dez on the other side. I'm not a big believer in Terrence Williams, so I think that
you still got Cole Beasley.
I know, but he's in the slot, so I think that's what I'm saying. You put Cole in the slot, you put Dez outside, you put Anquan. I think that's solid.
All right, moving on to the next one. Jamal Charles, once a terror on the field, but he's had so many injuries with his knees past 2 seasons. Do you think it's about time for him to maybe realize he's now probably a backup? Do you think a team should take a chance? Where do you think Jamal Charles will land?
Frank, you want to start on this one?
Yeah, look, if I'm looking at Jamal Charles, it's as a backup. He too many injuries, can't count on him. But you could probably get him on the cheap because, look, I'll be like, look, man, you ain't getting that kind of money.
Yeah.
As much as you've been hurt and
maybe
injured.
a 1 year, $3 million deal with incentives getting him to that $3 million, something like that.
Yeah, I'd take, if I had a good running back and I just, needed him to be a complimentary, which I think is what he is at this point, a second or a third option.
He could be like a third down back still, I think,
I think Jamal Charles is past his prime. And in my personal opinion, I think he should just go on and retire.
Wow. Okay.
I really do, because I don't think he's going to play the backup position. I think that's just because of the clout that everybody has given him and because of who he is. So for me, I'm saying this is a guy who, you had a run. Maybe it didn't go the way you wanted to. You didn't get a chip. But at the same time, you're not the same Jamal Charles. And in my humblest opinion, I really feel like, you know what, you could come in as a commentator or an analyst, and I think a lot of people would appreciate you and respect you that way, as opposed to you trying to keep coming back and not being able to be the Jamal Charles that we know you to be. So I'm personally saying he needs to go on and retire. I mean, that's how I feel.
I mean, I'd say if I needed, teams that need running back, Carolina Panthers. I mean, putting back there is second with Jonathan Stewart.
And either one of them will be injured at a given time, so that's kind of good. Compliment each other's injury status.
Oakland Raiders. You got Marshawn Lynch, and then, Jamal Charles can be your number 2. Or, anywhere where he's your second or third option, but I wouldn't.
And I don't think he's gonna go for that. I really don't.
I agree with that. He would need to probably go to a team that's ready to contend. I don't think he would want to go to like a New York Jets or anything like that situation.
No.
One team that doesn't have a running back really yet, or a number 1, that if they wanted to give him another shot, and you had just mentioned, or somebody had mentioned maybe AP going there, which I'm sure we'll get to. But I think Green Bay Packers, if they want to speed up the offense a little bit, I think that he would be a good fit there because he does catch passes out of the backfield very well, and I think that that might be a good fit with him and Aaron Rodgers, and he wouldn't have to basically shoulder the whole load because that's a predominantly passing offense. Yeah. So I think that he would work pretty well in that situation.
So let's talk about one guy whose name is still going on with the postseason, and I personally am like, why is he even still playing? Why is he even going to get a shot? I don't care what talents you have. I don't care the arm strength or the brains because you went to Vanderbilt. But, I mean, Jay Cutler. Seriously?
Hey, he's enjoying, like, semi-retirement, butt naked with his wife on an island somewhere.
Stay retired. That's how I feel. Stay retired.
He's going to the Jets. You'll be rooting for Jay.
Yeah. You be the only one in that category, my brother. I'm nope.
I say
where?
Yeah, I have Jets.
I'll tell you. I mean, actually, I thought it was going to be the Jets the entire time. I think that if some of these teams they draft a Deshaun Kaiser, a Patrick Mahomes, something like that, and they want to groom that guy. Not saying that Jay is a great role model, but they maybe a bridging the gap. They don't want the other quarterback to play for a couple of years. Then I think that team would be good to bring Jay Cutler in. But I mean, who really needs a quarterback right now? It's kind of tough.
Houston
would be a good spot for him. I think that would be
for Jay Cutler.
Yeah.
No, don't you dare give Jay Cutler to Houston. You talk about messing up fantasies. This brother play whenever he wants to play.
Okay,
not
and
because
Brock Osweiler, he's not an upgrade over Brock.
They got Tom Savage right now.
Yeah, but I mean,
he's an upgrade over Tom Savage.
No, he's not.
I think he is.
No, because he doesn't play. He plays when he wants to, not when the game's on the line, not when it's important, and not when it actually means something. Don't you dare put Jay Cutler on the Houston Texans.
So you'd rather
the Houston
have him
Texans
go on the Jets.
I would rather
your wife's
listen
team?
to me.
Your wife's
listen
team.
to
All
me.
I know is that
I would rather him not play because I don't like his body of work. That's what I'm saying to you.
All I know is
but
he does one thing well, and that is throw the deep ball. And for whatever reason, Brock Osweiler didn't know he played with DeAndre Hopkins last season. So I think Cutler can get DeAndre Hopkins the ball, and I think that the Houston Texan defense is good enough to keep them in games.
No.
So
don't you do it. They are. Don't you do it. Don't you put Jay Cutler.
I'm putting him on there.
So you'd rather put him on your wife's team. You'd rather put him on your wife's team.
I don't want him playing, period. That's
do you
what
see
you're
a Denver
missing.
Bronco reunion?
I do not. Listen to me.
Carson Wentz backup.
I hope that happens. I hope that happens because I will be the first. We're all gonna.
Okay.
If that happens, we're all put it in the fun to get Eric a Cutler jersey, Eagles jersey.
I didn't say starter. I said backup.
I like him going to Houston.
Eric has left the building.
I kind of like that move. He's got Hopkins and Fuller, Lamar Miller. I like it.
I actually like it too. I think that'd be good there.
They got a good tight end. I mean, look,
I like it. All right.
All they need is a quarterback, really.
They were hoping Tony Romo did that for him.
Don't count him out.
He hasn't
filed for retirement.
Maybe he's just because have the Cowboys officially released him yet?
I think
they just talked about it.
I think they talked about it. They still haven't done it yet.
I think that's why
there hasn't been like the final running off on a horse yet.
Frank, we've been together for 9 years, my brother. 9 years you and I have been together. And granted, we've had our share of differences.
Is that the first time you walked out of a show?
Yes.
Wow.
You and I have been together for 9 years.
Who's your backup now? Is it Chase Daniels?
No,
Nick Foles.
Nick Foles.
Chase Daniels signed back with the Saints, I think.
Okay. And you and I have always respected each other, even though we've had our differences when it comes to the Eagles and the Cowboys. So how could you do that to me, Frank?
Why not? You had Mark Sanchez.
I expect that from Craig. I expect that from the great Al Bushman. I don't expect that from you, man.
Everybody needs a good backup. I mean, look, I'm not saying he could at least.
I don't want Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler need to go on and retire. And Tony Romo is officially gone. Ain't he with CBS?
Not officially.
Not officially.
I thought he was with CBS.
No,
I
not
thought
officially.
He's going to start. No, I thought they have this the date. Where Tony Romo is going to actually be a commentator for CBS Sports on this particular date.
They still said that he could come out.
He still has said, "I have some left in the tank. I'm not."
But getting back to Jake, don't you put him on the Jets? Don't you damn sure don't put. You are giving Jay Cutler, one of the most apathetic men who has the honor to play the quarterback position, and you're going to let him go play on a team that is one piece away from being a contender, not only in the AFC, but in the entire NFL.
You talking about Houston?
He does not deserve.
Not the Eagles.
He does not shut up, Evan. He does not deserve that. I would rather it be Tom Savage. I would rather it would be somebody else.
I'd like to know a Houston Texans fan perspective on this. So if anyone listening, give us a call in.
813-699-5353. Right, Houston Texan fans, do you want Jay Cutler as your quarterback? We need to hear from y'all.
All right, moving on along in the list now. The pariah himself, Colin Kaepernick,
gone.
Is still available.
He need to retire too. The last three people he said the name all need to go away.
Will he ever be on a team?
Jamal Charles, gone. Jay Cutler, gone. Colin Kaepernick, gone. All three of them.
So we're all saying,
I actually agree with Eric on this
Colin
one.
Kaepernick.
I think he's done. I think he's done.
No one's taking the chance.
You know what? He's not done. He's going to play in the Arena Football League.
Okay. Go to Arena
or CFL.
Go to Arena. Go team up with your boy. Go against your boy RG3 because he's done too. Get him out.
Try to rebuild yourself if you can, but I'm sorry. Them last three, you done picked a whole list of just people need to go away. Who's next?
All right, D'Angelo Williams. Now, Frank, I'm going to go to you first. He's pretty much kind of carried the ball for the Steelers the first couple of games of the season because Le'Veon Bell likes to smoke the weed.
Yep.
So do you think D'Angelo Williams, he is going to be 34 this year. Do you think he'll land somewhere as maybe another backup for another team? I mean, he did have a pretty solid season last year. Where do you see him go?
I think when somebody would give him a one-year deal as your second or third option. I mean, look, he filled in. He was as good as he was as good as almost any starter when he filled in for Le'Veon. I got some good fantasy points out of him in a few of those games. So, but would I give? I mean, I wouldn't give him a lot of money because he is 34. I mean, 34 for a running back. That's, he's past his prime. But yeah, I mean, if I needed a second or a third option, I'd take a shot on him.
Where would you take him?
Look, I think he played at Carolina before. I mean, and they need, again, they need some kind of running game to go with Jonathan Stewart.
Like Fozzie Whitaker?
As Frank always says, you ain't winning with a running back named Fozzie.
Listen, this is a great running back draft class. Yeah. We haven't seen a good running back draft class like this in a while. I mean, obviously Leonard Fournette, Dalvin Cook, Christian McCaffrey. You also have Donta Foreman out of Texas. Hopefully Marlon Mack at USF. If he can get his fumbles under control, I think he can provide value. So there's a really, really good running back class, and I think that's why a lot of these veterans have not signed yet, because teams want to see if this particular running back falls to them in the draft. If they don't, then I think that they'll look at the Jamal Charles, the APs, those type of players. One thing I will say about D'Angelo Williams is I don't think that he really cares if he plays for a contender. I think that he'll probably just take the most money and the most playing time. So I can kind of see him.
So
basically anywhere.
Who needs a running back right now? We talked about teams not needing a quarterback. With the exception of Carolina, let's take them out of the conversation for a second.
Oakland. Mm-hmm. I mean, we don't even know if Marshawn Lynch is going to,
I would even say Seattle needs one.
Well, they send Eddie Lacy. God, that's a terrible signing.
I would still take D'Angelo Williams over Eddie Lacy.
Green Bay needs one.
They also got C.J. Prosise and some other ones over there in Seattle.
Who's the running back in Detroit right now?
Detroit has
is that Ebron?
Amir Abdullah.
Amir Abdullah.
They got Theo Riddick as a scat back over there.
I know they're in my division, but what about Washington?
That's what I was actually going to go there.
Matt
Jones is kind of injury prone too. He would be good over there because he can carry the load when asked to, but he doesn't need to at all times. Yeah.
Like, granted, I don't want to see D'Angelo Williams in my division, but I'm just thinking teams that
he'd be good there.
Yeah, Washington.
I would even say the Giants need one too.
The Giants do need one. They need one.
I don't want him on there. Don't put him on there.
He will be going to the Giants. Everybody. D'Angelo Williams is going to the Giants.
I still feel like AP is going to end up over there.
If that happens, I'm telling you right now. You heard it. I'm punching you in the throat.
Throw punch.
I'm telling you, it's going to happen.
All right, the last two on the list, we got Michael Floyd.
Yeah, Craig, what's going on, man?
New England Patriots.
Well, I mean, we rented him, and it is what it is. We actually probably upped his value a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll re-sign him. I kind of doubt it because we got Brandon Cooks in there now, and he's not going to start. Obviously, with Julian Edelman and some others on there. Chris Hogan playing well, and Malcolm Mitchell played well last season. And I haven't even talked about Danny Amendola, which would be 5th, so he would be 6th on the roster. That's not going to cut it for him. He wants to go somewhere we can play. I think somewhere like the New York Jets might take a chance where he can kind of just come in and play like immediately because obviously
in the division.
Well, Brandon Marshall isn't there anymore.
What about Miami?
You could do the flip flop. You can put him on the Saints. I mean, they got Brandon Cooks. Give him to the Saints.
The Saints make it work with pretty much everybody. I think he has talent. I just think he just needs to get his head straight.
What about Tennessee?
Tennessee would be a decent fit
for Michael Floyd. I'm just thinking, like, if Mariota had just one
it's
more
all about
piece.
the head straight, though. Because
I agree.
Because Tennessee has actually shown, listen, like, we're literally turning our franchise around. We have good people in there that want to play, young players that play hard. Not these, like, that's why they get rid of Dorial Green Beckham. Yeah, he made some decent plays for you, but he wasn't getting it there, so they shipped him out, even though he was a high pick.
Right.
All right, last on the list, he is a Sarasota native, Sam Shields. He's had really bad concussions the past couple of seasons. Don't know if he's going to come back or not. He's had 5 head injuries.
Wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Talk about
he needs to retire.
Yeah,
for those
reasons alone.
Yes, he can play, but
right.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say Pittsburgh. I mean, my goodness, you need some secondary, but
Pittsburgh.
But are you going to sign a head case though?
I mean, Sam typically has been. I mean, yeah, he's what was it? Weed he got caught with, or something.
Everybody on Pittsburgh smoke weed,
but
he just fall right into the group.
So he should not go to Denver then.
He's done. Yeah. But if you look at what he's done, though, I mean, charitable work, foundation here in Sarasota. I mean, he's typically been an okay guy, so to speak. Not really a complete knucklehead, but yeah, for 5 head injuries, man, just. Dude, you need to go on.
Hey, listen, Jason McCourty got released this week as well, which that really, really shocks me because I think he was the most consistent player in the secondary for Tennessee. Mm-hmm. I think whoever gets him is going to be really, really lucky. So
Could he get reunited with his brother?
I hope so, actually, because I'll tell you what, if we trade Malcolm Butler, then yeah, he's going to start on the other side.
Yeah,
because he's that good. He can easily start for any team.
Right.
But Pittsburgh should jump on him. I mean, there's other teams that he should definitely go to.
I wish Philly would jump on him.
He's good.
All right, a couple quick hits before we get out of here. Roddy White did call it a career. He has officially retired today.
Fantastic career. I have nothing but respect for Roddy White. I think he pretty much, he stayed out of trouble for the most part. He really played well in Atlanta alongside Julio for half of it as well. And, kudos to him for retirement. He had a great season. He had a great career.
And your boy, Aaron Hernandez, got off on the double murder charge this past week, but is still in jail for life for the.
What's his lawyer's name?
Jose Baez. He was the one that represented Casey Anthony.
Right. Jose Baez. You need to get off for double homicide? Jose Baez is your man.
Well, they said that he still has a bunch of appeals from the Odin Lloyd murder.
Oh yeah,
and he's basically telling them like, "Hey, listen,
I got off this. You can probably get me off for that."
Oh yeah, that's what he's saying. So,
will he ever play in the NFL?
No, absolutely not.
Hell no.
No way.
Hey,
no way.
We asking about everybody else. Why can't I ask about him?
If there was a prison league like the Longest Yard, yes, he'll play for that.
If he gets lucky enough to get out, he's done in the NFL. But it's kind of scary if he gets out, huh?
Yeah.
Probably be headhunting everybody at New England.
Literally.
That didn't believe in him or whatever. Like
Literally.
He already came back out and said, like, fuck Kraft, I think he said. Excuse my language. He did say that.
Wow.
So.
He probably has it tattooed.
I wouldn't be surprised.
And our condolences go out to the Rooney family this week. Art Rooney passed away this past week. The owner. Dan Rooney. Dan Rooney, the owner of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Our condolences go out to his family. And, of course, a very tragic accident happened yesterday. Todd Heap accidentally hit his 3-year-old daughter with his truck, and she had passed away. So our thoughts and prayers go out to his family.
That's a shame.
That's very tragic accident.
That is just...
Yeah, that's something that,
you can't come back.
You can't come back from it, man.
Yeah.
I want him, if he does listen to our show, and again, our condolences go out to that family. Remember her. Don't think about that moment. Remember her. And I think that might be what helps carry you through, because that's
unfortunate.
I mean, and I say this with all love. His family needs to watch him.
Oh, I know. I completely agree.
So
you never know what could happen with something like that.
Right.
It's a tough situation.
It's extremely tough.
And Todd Heap had a great NFL career.
He did.
And he did it with class, too. So
Yeah.
Well, I hate to end the show on a sad note, But the Rays for you, yes.
No, for him too.
For everybody.
For him too.
Oh, because he said that was a dirty win.
He said no. He didn't say it was dirty. He said it was sloppy.
No, I was talking about the whole Heap and Rooney thing,
Oh.
man. But I was going to bring up the matchup tonight. The Rays do go against the Boston Red Sox for Game 2 tonight. Jake,
let's talk about Game 1 since you want to call it a sloppy win.
We got 3 minutes. We don't have that much time.
Oh, you got time.
All right. So yeah, it was a sloppy win. It was sloppy. It was terrible.
It was also a sloppy loss.
10-5.
Why do Kevin Cash continually goes to Austin Pruitt? I have no idea.
Okay, so Saturday, when you go to the game, if you see him, I want you to ask him that question.
I don't have clubhouse access.
Find somebody
I can't.
You gonna see him he gonna walk around. He walking around. Catch him.
Okay, when you're up 10-1 and your manager brings you in to finish the game. Don't make it close. That's your job. It
was
finish.
10-5.
It was 10-1, and then it was 10-5, and they had runners in scoring position. You're not doing your job.
Okay.
And you have to bring in your closer to clean up your mess. You're not doing your job.
Winner's a winner. 10-5.
You could walk up and do the cash me outside.
No, Frank, don't even mention that.
Wow.
Did you really just do that?
Come on.
That's twice, Frank.
Come on, Frank.
That's 2 for you today,
Come
bruh.
on, Frank.
That's 2 for you today. First with Jay Cutler being my backup, and now you want me to catch.
Either way, it was nice to see them hit. I mean, Logan Morrison had a grand slam. They brought in that new that guy from the minors, Shane Peterson. He came up with a 2-run shot, and then Brad Miller. And
They're
Susan
putting up more runs
back-to-back.
than I anticipated they would earlier on in the season, so I give them credit on that.
Finally, their offense is clicking. We would like to see some more production out of Longoria and everything, too. But tonight's Game 2 is Jake Odorizzi against Chris Sale.
Come on.
I like this
Gotta get a
matchup. I like this
Gotta get a
matchup.
win.
Can I ask you one question before we get out of here?
Sure.
How you gonna let the Yankees sweep y'all? Can I ask you that question, please?
Well, when you
have
Tim Beckham playing shortstop who can't field worth a damn, when your relief pitching sucks and you can't hit worth a damn, you're gonna get swept. I gave you bullet points. There you go.
And thank you for that. As you get a phone call, but I was just like, "Are you serious? You took 2 out of 3 of them down here." And then a week later, you walk up into Yankee Stadium and just let them get the broom?
As I said, when you have crappy fielding, crappy pitching, and no hitting, that's what you get.
Okay. All right. Listen, that's your team. So I'm like.
But it's okay. We beat the Red Sox last night.
6-5.
We're 6-5.
You are.
Yeah.
And as long as you stay above that 500, my brother,
it could be worse.
It could be worse. We could be Toronto. We could be Toronto.
1-9 is Toronto. But look at the Orioles doing what they were doing. They started out hot last season too. 7-2 to start. It's pretty crazy.
Old
Buck Showalter.
They'll falter.
We had him on the show.
That's what I'm saying.
Great guy.
He's happy right now.
I'm sure we need to get him back. We need to get him back.
All right, guys.
Is that it?
Hopefully he calls you out on your
Vermont pick.
Your Vermont pick. Vermont's still sleeping.
All I remember is Buck saying, "Yeah, they're dead. They're dead in the water."
Isn't no? He said, "Yeah, that is sleeper. They're dead asleep."
No, he said they're deep sleepers. That's what he said.
He said they were dead asleep.
No, he said deep. We gonna get the. Play it. I'll find the show. Play it
Let's
back.
do it.
On the interview.
Clip is on the show page at Spreaker.com.
It's on our website, www.hnl3.com. You can check it out under interviews. Buck Showalter interview. He said deep sleep. That's what he said.
Either way, they're still sleeping.
He laughed at you.
They're still sleeping. You're sleeping right next to him wearing that old jersey.
That's
we start the show with the jersey.
Really
we
tight
end
on
the
you.
show with the jersey.
All right, guys. This has been another great edition of the Best Damn Sports Show in Sarasota. This is Whole Nother Level. Of course, Eric Wilson, Frank Mazzei, and Craig Wilson.
Craig Wilson.
Now we're married.
We're married.
Jeez,
Craig
there we go.
You haven't
been
here in a long time. That's
Craig
why.
Wilson.
Hold on.
You haven't been here in a long time.
He tried. Let me do this for y'all one time. So, for Craig Cousin, the factual Frank Mazzei, and the great Al Bushman, this is your man Eric Wilson. And until Tuesday, we have taken you.
Jay Cutler's your backup.
To a whole nother level. We'll see y'all next time.
Gee, Ray, what do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
Autobots, transform and roll out.